This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Oh, great friends. What's going on? It's Kaplan and Crew on a Thursday afternoon. We are coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. We got a great show coming up for you. As a matter of fact, Mark Loretta, the former Padres second baseman, the former Dodger, the former Astro, the former Red Sox, the now front office executive with the Padres, Mark Loretta will join us coming up really soon. So for those of you that are Padre fans, or maybe just baseball fans, you know, Mark Loretta is coming by, and we'll have a conversation with Mark coming up real soon. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. I hope that as more and more people are excited about what's going on and they're headed towards downtown and they're going to some games, think about this. Just go 7 minutes further south of downtown San Diego. That's 7 Mile Casino. Now, if you're coming from the south and you're going up to the north, on your way home, stop at 7 Mile Casino. 7milecasino.com, all the details there. But I always tell you, Sammy's Restaurant and Bar. Alex, what should we order if we go to Sammy's Restaurant and Bar? What should we get?
Pizza.
Yeah, the Sammy's Wood Fire Pizza Pies, huh?
That's a good start if you go to a pizza place.
Yeah.
You get a little pizza, a little sap. Well, Browner. Sorry.
Browner,
little chicken wings.
Browner doesn't eat salad. He eats chicken wings.
Kung Pao chicken.
The best in town.
Messy Sunday. All that stuff.
Oh, I love the Messy Sunday. 7 Mile Casino has Sammy's Restaurant and Bar over here, blackjack poker table games over here, the beautiful bay of Chula Vista, and it's only 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego. Let's do a beautiful thing. We'll meet you at 7 Mile Casino. Good luck. And if you got any problems with gambling, you call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. So Mark Loretta's coming up. Padres win yesterday. Browner, you've been saying all season long that the key to a great season, for any baseball team for that matter, is to beat the teams you are supposed to beat. The Giants, forget about last year. That's in the rearview mirror. They are a team that is well behind the Padres. And when you're at home against an opponent inside the division who has, who by record is not really in your league, you're supposed to win these games. You're supposed to win this series. The Padres won. The Padres won.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I'm trying to contain myself as we start today's show.
You mean you're not going to be as obnoxious as you've been the last 2 days, which, by the way, you're getting called out on Twitter for? Not my words, Twitter's words.
Twitter isn't a real place, as a great person once said. Look,
Which
man,
great person?
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just not. We are in August. Today's the 11th, as according to my computer.
Just your computer.
Right. It may be wrong. It may not be August 11th, but Browner's computer says August 11th. Mine concurs, Brown, just so you know.
And with that, they're 6-5 in the month of August. That's a winning record in the month of August. All the hemming and hawing about what happened with the Dodgers, what happened in the first game, losing 1-0. They're 6-5. The two teams that they played this month that they should have beat handily, they did. 4 out of 5 won, and 2 out of 3 of the other one. So I sit back today, and this is what I say about baseball all the time. There has to be a level of even kill, not too high, not too low. Because after all the doom and gloom of losing to the Dodgers, where are you? Well, you just beat the Giants 2 out of 3, and you beat the Rockies 4 out of 5. On to DC.
But the doom and gloom, and by the way, you say on to DC. Padres will not play today, and then they go to Washington. By the way, that should be kind of interesting, right? I mean, when Juan Soto returns to Washington, that'd be kind of interesting.
I mean, if there's anybody left in the stands there.
Yeah.
Probably Friday and then empty the rest.
Yeah. But I just will say this. Like, you're beating the teams you're supposed to beat. You're supposed to beat Colorado, and you haven't, but you did. You're supposed to beat San Francisco, and you got that done, and the bats came to life, and that's great. Still, the reality check is the reality check, which is thus far, you can beat the Giants, but you can't beat the Dodgers. Now, could things change in the next 6-7 weeks? Of course they can change. Of course they can change. But, like for me, I'm not getting super high over, wow, they beat the Giants. You're supposed to beat the Giants.
So you said the bats came alive, and you're true. That's true. They have come alive over the last 2 games. It's which bats that interest me more than anything. It's not that they're scoring runs, because at points in times during the season, we can all come to an understanding. They have had outbreaks where they have scored lots of runs in many games. It's who's getting the hits. It's the guys you traded for. Who's getting on base? It's the guys you traded for. So the guys you brought in are doing what they're supposed to do, which to me is an arrow pointing up. In addition to what we are seeing now apparently be Tatis, not rounding into form, but looking like he's ready to join the club.
Oh, he's ready.
I mean, listen, even if he didn't do jack squat yesterday,
come on up, brother.
I mean, listen, Mark Loretta will be here. Mark is the, assistant to the CEO of the Padre. So he's not necessarily deeply involved in the roster part of the business. He's more involved in the business part of the business, at least right now at this time in his career. But I'll be curious to hear what Mark says. Like, I agree. Like, there's no reason to keep Tatis down at this point. I mean, he's playing, he's swinging. I mean, just bring him up.
Pretty much.
And what's the sense of keeping him down? I mean, I would be curious to hear what Mark, from a more professional baseball opinion, I'd be curious to know why they don't immediately just bring him right back up. We'll talk to Mark about it coming up shortly. We'll talk to him soon. My daughter this morning, Julia, who I swear to you guys, I've barely seen this child in like the last, 2 months. She left for a camp. She came home from a camp. She left for a trip with her friend to the East Coast. She was gone for 10 more days. I've seen this kid like 5 days in the last 60 days.
So you guys are both having a great summer then, huh?
Yeah, right. We are. I was having a great summer. And then she came home, and now she needs rides places. I got to go pick her up at field hockey at 8:00 at night. I mean,
she was getting her license.
She is getting her license in November, dude. She's not 16 yet.
Oh.
You guys have no idea. My life is about to change in a huge way, because once school starts, my daughters, who have driven her to school for the last however many years, now I got to go back to driving this kid to school because she don't have a driver's license yet. But anyway, this morning, she's walking around the house, and she used to complain all the time, but now she doesn't complain. Now she conforms. She's literally walking around the house this morning going, "The Padres won. I say the Padres won. Your team got smoked. Yeah. I say the Padres won." Yeah, she's into it. Like, it took a long time, because early in the season, when the Island Boys thing came out, I couldn't get it out of my head.
The Padres won. Oh, yeah, the Padres won. If you're seeing this wrong, your team got smoked. Yeah. That's right, the Padres won. Oh, yeah, the Padres won.
He does have a voice, like a really good voice.
Yeah.
I can't take that away from him.
The Island Boys.
Angelic.
I can't wait to see his second act.
Island Boys.
Yeah,
I'm cool with a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
people
this
who
is
have
the
face
hit.
tattoos, people who have face tattoos, and being serious, like that, you people scare me. Like, I get freaked out by people who have face tattoos.
Who's more scarier, this kid or Post Malone?
This kid.
I mean, like I saw Post Malone at a Rams game a couple years ago, and I was walking through the end zone because I was, sideline reporting. Who's taller, me or Post Malone?
Yeah.
I think I am. Well, how tall is he? I don't know. I mean, like, I don't feel like we stood side by side. Yeah, but he was in the stands and I was on the field, so I didn't really get a great sense of that. Why? Is he considered a tall dude?
I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't really know how tall he is at all. I just thought you said you saw him. I thought
So what was happening is I was walking through the end zone, and I looked over, and there's this dude with all these face tattoos, and I'm like, well, that's unusual. And then I'm like, but gosh, I feel like I know that guy. God, I feel like I know that guy. But I was busy because I was running to the other sideline, like somebody got hurt or whatever. And then it occurred to me later in the day, I'm like, oh, that was Post Malone. I think I may have called him Carl Malone, though. Anyway.
Nice.
Right. No resemblance at all.
No, but people with face tattoos, is it me, or is that just like way too judgmental to just be completely petrified of people who have face tattoos?
Well,
I mean, like this kid, the Island Boy guy, I mean, he's just a little punk, but I don't know. People who have face tattoos freak me out a little bit. Sorry, anybody who's got a face tattoo. Don't take offense to it. It's just my opinion,
They only got the face tattoo. You shouldn't be apologizing to them. They knew what they were signing up for. You get a face tattoo, you will be judged. It's not skin color. It's not a unnatural growth. It's not like a scar. You selectively chose to have this thing embroidered on your face.
Embroidered.
Whatever someone thinks of you, You did that. You chose this life.
It's Mike Tyson's fault.
Also, scary.
I think it's Mike Tyson's fault. I think because when we were in the hardcore rap era of I will shoot you, there was no face tattoos.
None.
You know? There wasn't any.
Zero.
When we saw Mike Tyson emerge with a face tattoo, all of a sudden, Lil Wayne got face tattoos. And I would say Lil Wayne probably influenced a lot of the rappers more than Mike Tyson did. But I would think Tyson was because I remember when that came out, he was like, yo, he's not okay. He got a face tattoo.
Mm-hmm. That was like sign number one.
Right. And everybody assumed that
there
Tyson
were signs previous to that too, Brian.
Right. Yeah. Well,
but everybody assumed that Tyson was like legit going crazy because he got a face tattoo.
Right.
And now, if you're 18 and don't have a face tattoo, I think you're crazy.
Oh, really? So as soon as you turn 18, you get a face tattoo.
I think that's like the it's like the modern day bar mitzvah, Scott.
Really?
You get a face tattoo. Now you become a man.
Tattoos drive me nuts, though. I will admit it, because I don't have any tattoos. I will not likely ever get any tattoos, I don't think. I was always kind of brainwashed as a kid that when you're Jewish, you don't get tattoos. Did you guys know about this? You guys have any exposure?
Too.
Mexicans
do
or don't?
Brainwash. Don't.
I would.
Oh, really?
It is frowned upon.
Oh, really? Mexicans? Really?
As a Jewish person, I would totally 100% understand why not getting a tattoo should be entrenched within their culture.
And why do you think that is?
The Holocaust.
Right. So during the Holocaust, the prisoners, the Jews that were taken by the Germans, were tattooed. They were numbered. Right. And so they were branded essentially. And so the way I was raised, and when you're Jewish, you don't get tattoos. Now, my ex-wife, I remember the first tattoo she got. I was like, can you please not do that? But it was like one of these things on the back of her neck, her hair covered it, whatever. Then she started going a little tattoo. She got really into it. I remember. What's that?
They are. They have to be.
They're addicting. That's right.
I don't know a single person with one tattoo. Any person I know with a tattoo has multiple tattoos, including now the new tramp stamp. It's not above the butt. Now it's like this behind the ear thing.
Yeah, well, this is what bothers me. Well, this is what bothers me. So, what do you mean? What tramp stamp? What you don't know about that, Alex?
No, I don't know. I didn't know that that's the new tramp stamp.
I didn't know it was the new tramp stamp either. But Browner's right about this. Browner's right about one thing though. Like when my daughter turned 18, the first thing she wanted to do was go get a tattoo, and I'm like, it wasn't discussed with me. No one said, "Dad, do you have a problem with this?"
Probably for a reason.
Well, yeah, because they knew that I would tell them no chance.
Say, yes, I do have a problem with this.
Right. Like I remember
problem.
I think I was about 16 years old, maybe 17 years old. And I came home with an earring. Ooh. And back then, dude, just one, late 80s.
George Michael over here.
Dude, listen, but hold on. You see, back in the late 80s, here's what I remember. Okay. An earring in your left ear meant you were straight.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I remember that too.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
Right. But if
anything
you were
in your right, anything on your right,
you were gay. Right. You were
anything on your right. If you wore a ring on your right hand, if you wore
times have changed.
A watch on your right hand.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember any of that part. I just remember the
it escalated. It escalated to my era where it was like anything on your right hand,
gay.
It means that you're gay. Yeah. Like if you wear one ring that's on the right hand, gay. If you have a watch and you wear it on the right hand, gay. Like I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It escalated from earring to everything.
Right.
Yeah,
so I'm like 17 years old, right?
So funny. I forgot about this.
And I got an earring, and I remember my father telling me, if you get an earring, I will rip your ear off your head. And I actually believed him. Like I thought my father would take a pair of like needle nose pliers, because he was an electrician at the time. He freaking pull my ear right off. So I came home one night after getting this little teeny tiny earring. I was 17 or whatever. And at that time, I think Brian Bosworth was a big star at Oklahoma, and he was all earringed out, And so I came home, and I'm standing at my parents' bedroom door. My dad was in bed, and I'm standing there and I'm looking at him, but I'm only letting him see the right side of my face because the earring's in my left ear. And my father's like, "Come on in here." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good right here." He's like, "Come here. I'm good. I'm good right here." I'm like leaning. He's like, "Get your ass in here," because now he knew. Now he knew. And I showed up with that earring, and my father was like, "Get that thing out of your ear. Give me a break, blah, blah, blah." So I didn't ask. I just went and did it, And even back then, I remember like being in high school, and like the principal of high school was like, "Yo, man, like you're the president of the student body, man. Like, you can't be walking around with some earring. I was like, why? I don't know, man. It was just the way it was back then.
It was a different time.
So anyway,
as far as
so my point is that my daughter, 18 years old, she went at 18 years old and went to a tattoo place and got a tattoo. Like, I think her first one was like behind her ear. Now she got a little one on her wrist. She got they're little teeny tiny things, and they're, for the most part, they're kind of hidden. But I was very unhappy with it. I was like, please.
I like
stop.
this new style of teeny tiny tattoos at random places. I like that.
I hate it.
Because it's
you get bugs all over you.
Obviously, when the tattoo culture like exploded recently, and it was like sleeves, full back piece, full chest piece, like full.
The way it should have been if you're gonna do it.
I like this new. No, I like the new tattoos.
You know what?
I like the minimalist tattoos.
No, this is the problem with kids these days. Okay.
Yeah, what's the problem?
What's the matter with me?
What's the matter with me? Look, like these singers, right? These women singers. Because here I go. One tattoo here, one here, one here. It looks dumb. It looks trashy. It doesn't look cool. It's not attractive.
For you old man.
Look hoary. Don't do little. Just get the sleeve or don't get nothing. I'm sorry.
Oh God,
it's
give
my
me a break.
opinion.
Really, it's either sleeve or nothing. It's either you cover your body or nothing. I mean, look, all I'm saying is
either you in or you out.
Well, all I'm saying is that people with face tattoos, like the Island Boys, they freak me out. And
that's how we got here, man.
And I got no tattoos. I don't want to have any tattoos. I don't judge people. I love to look at people's tattoos. I just cannot stand the fact that my daughter went and got tattoos. When I said to her, I go, dude, you're making lifetime decisions at 18 years old. It may seem cool today, but it may not. There was once an SNL bit where this mom, right? And she's climbing up on a ladder and she's going to change a light bulb. And as she goes to reach up, her T-shirt comes up her back and you can see her tramp stamp. And the whole bit was, did you get this when you were younger thinking it was cool? And now you're like a mom and it's not cool at all. And you got to get rid of this thing. And that's the way I feel like when you get tattoos at such a young age, like you may find yourself regretting it. I see all these like college kids in basketball or football tatted out crazy. Yeah. I'm like, aren't you like 19? Where'd you get the money for all those tats?
Dude.
Oh, where'd you get the money?
You know how many women I meet in their mid-30s, mid-40s have really, really bad tattoos that they got in college
that they don't like anymore,
that they hate them.
I've said this on the show before. We haven't got to the point. Obviously, like old school, like military members get tattoos, and they're older now, and they have like wrinkly old tattoos.
Right, they got like we haven't got blob on their arm.
But we haven't got to the point of the modern day tattooer getting person that's tatted.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't gotten old yet.
Like old, like real old.
I'm telling you, when we get to people with full sleeves and full chest and back pieces getting old, and we start seeing what you look like when you're 75, it's going to detract people from getting tattoos. I am a firm believer that when young people get old and now we start seeing it, we're going to not like tattoos because you get old. They're not going to look that fresh when your skin is old and wrinkly and crackly.
Right. Like I look at a guy like Nick Hardwick who used to play for the San Diego Chargers, and he had those like that full sleeve of like green Hulk arms, right? And he was like 300 plus pounds back then, and now he's like 220, and his arms are still like, he looks good, he's lean and mean, but they don't look the way they used to. And truth, right? Like when he's like 60 years old, he's gonna be like, what the hell did I do? Right. My skin is different now.
You ever seen like an old veteran from the Navy who has like, some old military tattoo, and what it looks like? You're right. It looks like a green blob sometimes.
Yeah.
So I know that the quality of tattoo has increased, but also like there's no like warranty.
Skin is still the same.
No warranty on your tattoos. You can't return it when you're 65, man.
Skin is still the same, man.
I guess all these kids are hoping that by the time they want them off, like the technology will be a lot better and they'll be able to get rid of them. Hey, I want to just mention everybody really quick. We're just getting started here today, but coming up on is it September 27th? Oh, no. On August 27th, I just want to make sure I got all my dates right here. On a Saturday, August 27th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., me and Browner are going to be with the Padres Pod Squad.
That's right.
The Friar, the Padres Traveling Museum, tons of free food. Everybody's getting Padres gear. There's tickets to be won between the Padres and the Dodgers on September 27th and a parking pass, but you got to be present to win. we will be at Lexus San Diego off the 163 and Kearney Mesa Road. So think about it. Me, Browner, Pod Squad, Fryer, tickets to give away to Dodgers series, parking passes, Will Myers used bat, a Tatis something, official game jersey. So it's Saturday, August 27th, 11 to 2, lots of food, Lexus San Diego, and Browner. Maybe we'll even get you a new car that day, man.
Hey-yo, I'm down. I spoke with some of our friends from another dealership yesterday.
You talked to the guys from Mazda of Escondido?
I truly did.
And is there anything cooking there?
I got to fill out some paperwork to kind of see where I'm at with my credit score. Then we'll go from there.
All right, cool. Well, let's get you, because, dude, we got to get you something, man. We got to get something going on with the car situation. All right, look, we're just getting rolling. The Padres won. Let's talk about that. Where are the Padres today? Meaning, like, we saw them lose 3 straight to the Dodgers. We saw them beat the Giants. What does Mark Loretta, now working in the Padres front office, how does he judge right now where the Padres are? Let's get to that next. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
Let's welcome back to Main Street Living tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Now, it might seem weird that we're having you on because it's not necessarily tax season right now, but what are some things that viewers can do to get ahead of next tax season?
Yeah, you're right. I apologize. I think most people would prefer to just forget about taxes for the summer. But yeah, if you have some downtime, always a good opportunity to kind of get ahead for next season. So really what I'm preaching is, just become more knowledgeable about your taxes. Everyone come tax season can benefit from having a little more knowledge and just being a little bit less stressed about the whole process of getting their taxes filed and getting them paid. All this information is available online, but it's really a mess. So it just gets back to my first point, just start with your own taxes. And then if you need to dig in on 1 or 2 issues, it's just a Google search away.
Gotcha. Google search away. Now, let's just say someone is interested, like Danielle is interested in becoming more knowledgeable about her taxes. Like, how should someone like her get started?
Yeah. So Danielle, you're interested. You should start with, your last year's tax return. So I'd say get out your last year's return. Form 1040s, going to be the first page there. And really look and see what lines are populated. And then, make sure you understand those roles. So if you have dividend income and you see, what's a qualified dividend, go in and figure it out. Likewise, if you see anything that's missing. So, a lot of taxpayers now are paying a ton in student loan interest. And then they look at their tax return and they go like, whoa, that's limited to $2,500. That would be a role that you'd want to dig in and really figure out how it impacts your actual tax return. When in doubt, save for retirement. It's either, for most taxpayers, it's either going to save you money today, tax-wise, or it's going to help you reduce your tax burden in the future.
Awesome.
So important. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adam. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
When they approached us to do this in the first place, we couldn't wait to get involved.
Come in here and it feels like a football game should be here. It's a big event for us. In our opinion, this is going to be an outstanding spot to bring it to, and once you get a taste of it, I'm guessing you're going to want to come back.
Watch the IFL National Championship Saturday, August 13th on Your View.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. We welcome you back inside the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. It's Kaplan and Crew on Thursday. Today is August 11th. I got Grande and the Brown Man. And now here is Mark Loretta jumping in because we want to hear how Mark judges where the Padres sit today. A former Padre, great second baseman, former major leaguer, played on a bunch of different teams, Dodgers, Red Sox, Astros. Now working in the front office again with the Padres. Here is Mark Loretta back on Kaplan and Crew. Hey, Mark.
Good morning, boys. How we doing?
We're doing really well. Yourself?
Doing great. Thank you. Thanks
right.
for having me on.
Yeah, man.
Burn out my welcome on this show.
No. We love having you here. And I love the Viore hat yet again. Little product placement. Nicely done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you got to get in there and see my man, River.
You know, we've been going back and forth with River on the – first of all, you've told this story. Anybody that maybe missed this, there was a guy – Mark, you could maybe tell it better, but this guy was a minor league ball player who never really made it to the big leagues. Now he's back here in town and working for this company, Viore, which has completely exploded.
Yeah.
And you connected us with him, which is really cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, River spent 6 years in the minor leagues with the Padres, actually. Made it to AAA. Unfortunately, never got to taste the big leagues, but great guy, and jumped right into working for Viore, which is a San Diego company. You know, a lot of people know it. Great apparel company, and he's really moving his way up, and he wants to come on board with the great friends and get everybody connected. So, yeah, Viore, good product.
Dude, I'm wearing my favorite Viore shorts right now. I was rocking them all weekend up in Mammoth. I mean, it's like this brand has completely exploded, and here it is from San Diego. So it's really, really cool. And thanks for connecting us with them. When I go to the racetrack, I always wear like these Viore pants. People are like, "Ooh, nice slacks." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what you think." In the meantime, I could go work out in these things right now. They're just, the products are terrific. And they kind of go back and forth because, you know, they kind of can look dressy if you're wearing a sport coat, and they can look very sporty if you're just kind of going
that's
cash.
the beautiful. It's like, you know, you can work out, you can play in them, and then you can actually do real work in them too. So it's like you basically that's all you need is Viore all day long.
Haven't seen you much at the track this summer, although if I'm being honest, I'm really only getting out there like on Saturdays and Sundays. Have you been out a lot?
I haven't made an appearance yet. No, we weren't able to go to opening day, which we usually go to, but no, we'll make an appearance at some point.
Yeah.
How's the stables doing? Great friends.
It's doing pretty good. We've actually raced 4 times so far. On opening day, Mark, you'll love this. We entered a horse into a race. The horse was actually claimed out of the race, so we sold the horse. The horse finished like 5th, but we bought the winner out of that race. So we lost one to a sale, and we got one that we bought from the same race. So we were able to replenish the barn rather quickly. Our second race of the season, we actually won. And since then, we had a favorite, like a 7-5 favorite that finished second. And then we had one that was about 12-1 that was headed for home. And I thought, oh my God, we're actually going to win this race, and then fell apart. So we've got 1 win, 1 second place finish, 2 fifth place finishes. So in the money, 50%, winning percentage, 250. Not bad so far. Pretty good.
All right. Yeah, good. You're a classic horse trader.
Well, the good thing for me is that I really don't have to do very much anymore. I got a partner, Craig Dato, who you know, and Dato really runs the whole thing, and I just get to show up and high five people and hopefully stand in the winner's circle. So this thing's on cruise control. 15 years we've been in the horse racing business. How about that?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Makes me feel old.
I know. Mark, we wanted to talk to you today. Mark Loretta's here. We wanted to get your opinion on what you think's going on with the Padres. Start us off with the trade. And not just the trade, the Soto Bell trade, but even just take us back before that to the Hader trade. Listen, I've been critical plenty of AJ Preller, but these trades, I mean, needed a closer, got a closer. Needed a bat, got a bat. Wanted to get rid of Hosmer, found a way to do that. I mean, just give us your analysis on what has happened here in the last, call it 7 days for the Padres.
Yeah, what an amazing stretch for this franchise. Really an altering couple weeks, this trade deadline. I mean, you know, whatever you think about AJ, you know, you can he's not scared. I mean, he is in on every deal. The Hader deal came out of nowhere. I didn't hear anything about it. And then, of course, the Soto thing, and then Ohtani. And I was like, man, can we really get Juan Soto? Are they really going to trade him, this franchise-altering player in the prime of his career? I mean, it'd be like getting, Mike Trout 5 years ago, or Hank Aaron in his prime. Honestly, that's that type of player. So when they pulled it off, I mean, just as you know, the community and the fans and the ballpark is just electric. That first night, I think it was last Wednesday when Soto suited up for the first night. I mean, people were there early. They were standing ovations like crazy. We ended up winning that game. Drury, who kind of an afterthought in another trade, hits a grand slam that day. And then you sort of saw that lull there a little bit, and it may have been kind of a little hangover from all that excitement. Go up to LA and Dodgers just kind of kicked our butt, honestly. And that was a little bit of a wake up call, I think. Came back, and it was good to get those last 2 wins the last 2 nights. I think in particular yesterday to really break out and score 13 runs. Now the team goes on the road to play the Nationals and the Marlins, so should be a good matchup there. But yeah, I think it's exciting. I think it was the right move at the right time, even though you give up a lot of good prospects, a lot of good players, but you don't have a chance to get a guy like this. And I think that the team is poised and the ownership is ready to basically go all in, for lack of a better term.
Mark, I'm a natural pessimist here. That's my that's my vibe. That's the way I am. I'm a fan that I got to see it.
Tough way to live.
I got to see it before I believe it, kind of thing. But new roster, solid pitching staff, all-star closer. What is, if any, your concern moving forward in this wild card battle that the Padres find themselves in now for the rest of the season?
Yeah, always have concerns, but I think it's a very balanced, deep roster at this point, and it's just about guys, kind of doing what they're expected to do. I think, and the starting rotation has been great. There's been a few hiccups here and there. The bullpen, Josh had a tough time his first opportunity to close a game, so you're going to have some of that. But I think this team has a chance to really get on a roll, and I think the last couple games offensively, the 2 big innings they put together yesterday, that can get you really, really motivated. So it's just going to be about consistency and about guys doing what they're capable of doing day in and day out.
Kind of what they're supposed to be doing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because we were talking about this before you came here. So what is the reasoning for like having to go through what I'll think of as an extended rehab stint for Tatis? Because I think that's what every Padre fan is saying the same thing. Yeah, swept by the Dodgers, really wasn't competitive. But if you're the Padres, a couple things. One, you're just putting some new pieces into the roster. 2, you're caught up in all the Vin Scully excitement. And I say excitement, I mean the celebration of his life at Dodger Stadium and the emotion that happened over the course of that weekend. But a Padres fan's biggest excuse would be, we got swept by the Dodgers, but wait until we put Tatis back into the lineup. So my question really is, how long is too long, or when should people expect a guy to be able to come right back? If you're playing at AA and you're doing fine, can't you just walk right back in?
Yeah, you probably could, certainly, but I think they want to make sure, that he's got his timing down. It takes, honestly, if I'm thinking about a spring training, it would always took me about a week to 10 days or so to get my timing down, to see Major League pitching, to see the kind of velocity that you're going to face during the year. He's been out for a long time. I mean, it's been months, not weeks. So I think that's part of it. And also, I think, too, the team, the leadership of the team doesn't want everybody to feel like, Tatis is our savior, because, we've got good players around him. We want him to be ready, hit the ground running when he comes in, because when you lay off that long, it's kind of tricky. So, I think he can be back. My guess is they're probably targeting on the 18th, the next Thursday, when the team comes home. But you may see him in Miami. I don't know. He's a special guy who can get ready quickly, and he may push him. Say, hey, I'd like a couple games on the road before I come home. So we'll see, but it's getting close.
The Soto trade took a team that kind of felt like the energy was dipping, the fan base, the energy was dipping because of the way that the team fizzled out last year. And then all the trades happened at the trade deadline. And then all of a sudden it was like you went up on a roller coaster that just feels the energy in the park keeps going up for home games. What's it like being in the front office and being around the team with the energy is like this?
I love it. It's exciting. I mean, I think, like you said, the community is thrilled. And I've said this before. I mean, my goal for being involved with the Padres is just to help, make the Padres a source of pride for the community. And I think that's really turned out to be true in the last couple of years. And when you see this ownership group, extend themselves, I mean, now, the revenues are up with the fans and ticket sales and all that kind of stuff, but it's still a stretch to afford a $247 million payroll. I mean, that is big money, obviously. So I think it's awesome. I think the atmosphere is great. The brand of the Padres, the brown and yellow and the gold, is very unique. I love the fact they went back to that. The City Connect jerseys now. I mean, I saw a ton of City Connect jerseys when I was down there for the last home game. And
did you happen to see Kawhi Leonard? Did you see Kawhi Leonard? He's now wearing the uniform that you wore as a Padre, which by the way looks like the Milwaukee Brewers. Like, we all hated those freaking uniforms, and those are the throwbacks.
Yeah, now it's a throwback. Yeah. No, and the other thing is, it's funny. I think I've ever seen this. I saw 4 or 5 jerseys with Preller on the back of
it. Hey man, listen,
the Rockstar GM is
when you pull a move off like that and you get a generational talent at that age that never hits the market, he deserves a bobblehead night, if you ask me.
For sure. Hey, good call. I'll run that up the market.
Well, right. You're talking to the right guy here, Browner. So Mark, let me ask you this. We're talking to Mark Loretta this afternoon. He is now the special assistant
Has there
to the
ever
CEO
been
of the Padres.
a GM bobblehead anywhere?
That's a great idea, though. If there hasn't, this is why it's such a great idea, Mark.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Have him throw out the first pitch.
I'll give you credit too.
Oh yeah.
Hey Mark, but let me go the opposite direction here, though. Yes, there's a lot of excitement in town. And the way I described it was, Padre fans celebrated as if it was a Game 7 walk-off grand slam home run in the World Series. But reality did set in, I think, when you go to LA and you get swept. So my question really is, if you look at San Francisco, theoretically, you're supposed to beat a team like San Francisco. Same goes for Colorado, Washington, Miami. These are teams you're supposed to beat. But how do you think the Padres can ever really compete with the Dodgers, who I know right now, 10 straight wins, they're on fire, they're unstoppable. But in your mind, how do the Padres ultimately compete with the Dodgers?
Well, let's just run a scenario. Let's say you got a 5-game series against the Dodgers in the playoffs. Okay. You're going to run out Darvish, Musgrove, combination of, maybe Snell and what's his name? Sunshine.
Clevenger. Sunshine.
So you like your chances. You figure Darvish, Musgrove certainly match up against anybody who the Dodgers throw out there. And then you look at a lineup that's been together, say for a month or 6 weeks with Tatis back in it. I'd put that right up against anybody. I mean, I think Mookie Betts, Turner and Freeman are a great 1, 2, 3, but I would put Tatis, Soto, Machado, if not ahead of them, right there with them. So, it's pretty even on paper, and it's just about who executes. Go out and execute, and if it's, hopefully a couple of those games are at Petco, I think the energy level can really spur on this team, and that's how you beat them. You beat them one play at a time. You don't try and go out and you don't say let's just win the game. You just win every little matchup. Every pitch. It's kind of cliche, but you just boil it down to executing. The team that executes the best ends up winning at the end of the day.
Hey, Mark, here on this show, we were pretty critical of Eric Hosmer for a few years here, defensively, offensively. But I got to kind of give him a little credit, and I'm making a joke, but I'm not, because his refusal to go to Washington then led AJ to make another move, it seems like, to get Brandon Drury. And Brandon Drury seems to be what we thought we were getting in Luke Voit, a power hitter, maybe a little bit more athletic, plays multiple positions. Like, he should have 4 home runs. He got robbed twice already, but I feel like because Hosmer refused to go to Washington, we ended up getting Drury, and he looks to be better than advertised.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know exactly how all those sequences went, and Eric, when you get to a point where you have a no trade clause and you have a certain number of teams, that's certainly you're right. So that the fact that got out there before, because I think what the deal with the Nationals was at the end of the day was the 3rd or 4th or 5th, 6th piece, whatever is either going to be, either Hosmer if he agrees, either Voit or somebody else.
It was Myers,
and
right?
So what's that?
I think it was Myers was the reported player.
Maybe, yeah, probably. So. No, but I mean, for my money, and nothing against Voit, I think Brandon Drury is a much better overall hitter than Luke Voit. I mean, Luke Voit's got power and he's dangerous, but
And
if you got a guy, you need to drive in a run from third base in the playoffs. I would take Brandon Drury 10 times over Luke Voit.
It is funny. I don't know if you saw. Did you see Voigt's comments in the? I think it was the UT where I almost feel like Petco got in his head. He was like, it's nice to get out of that graveyard in Petco and go to the East Coast and some more favorable ballparks. It almost seems like he did get snake bitten a couple times where he hit balls like crazy and they didn't go out, but it almost seemed like Petco got in his head.
It's funny, by the way, that you say that because I was just listening to a comment last night. What's the guy's name that the Dodgers just traded for from the Yankees?
Votto?
Gallo.
Joey Gallo.
And Joey Gallo had a beard. And he was saying in the postgame, because he hit his first home run as a Dodger last night, he said, yeah, it's nice to be able to grow a beard and not have to live by those restrictions. Like, I guess what I'm getting at, Mark, is
the Yankees are 1-7 without him, by the way.
How about that? I didn't know that.
Just
I guess
funny.
my only point is that players, I think you tell us, try to look on the bright side of I'm going to a place, I've got a new opportunity, if you will. Like Luke Voit, it didn't go great. Gallo, obviously things didn't go well in New York. So change of scenery, what do you say?
Players who are struggling love a change of scenery. Because that's an easy not an excuse, but it's an easy say, oh, I've got to change the scenery. I can grow a beard and all of a sudden my power's back. It's silly. It's the mind games that players play. But last thing on the Hosmer, I don't like the narrative that because Hosmer refused to go to the Nationals, that's why Luke Voit went there. That's inaccurate, because that led to it. But there was so much going on in behind the scenes that wasn't a 1-for-1. In other words.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that. So let me ask you another question down that same road. When a guy refuses to be a part of the trade because he properly negotiated a no-trade clause in his contract, which he's allowed to do, but when a guy won't accept the trade, as a professional athlete who's trying to get better and move along during the season to compete, how does that feel as a player in the locker room, friend or no friend?
It happens more than you think, and it never really resurfaces. This was such a public deal with Soto, and everybody had so much information. I had reporters call me, and I didn't have much inside information. So I don't think the players, that bothers them. And in fact, Haas, who's a very good major league veteran, a great guy, ends up being a good deal for him. I'm glad he went to the Red Sox with in a team that's, they've been struggling, but that's a much better fit for him at this stage of his career than going to the Nationals when they're completely rebuilding. Mm-hmm. So, hats off to his agent for getting that no trade clause, and it's just part of the business side of it, and he did the right thing. And
also, thank God he went to the AL East where they won't play him often because former Padres always kill the Padres when they come back. It is a fact that we have written down on the show. We've researched it. It is a fact. If you get traded by the Padres, you come back, you kick their ass pretty often.
So you're expecting Luke Voit to go off the next 3 days?
Unfortunately, yeah. He already hit 2 home runs over there.
This will test your theory.
That is right.
Yeah. If we come back here on Monday and Luke Voit hits 2 home runs this weekend, you know why.
Yeah. Mark Loretta is here and talking about what's going on with the Padres, how he sees things going and shaping up when they, eventually possibly have to face the Dodgers again, based on the way the Dodgers have owned the Padres. So it's great to talk to you today about all this stuff, Mark. One thing we haven't talked about was, prior to all the big trades, they did sign Joe Musgrove, and that's been a big, point of contention all season long. And ultimately, Alex has brought us all this data that says at $20 million a year, Musgrove's still kind of considered a steal based on what other pitchers around Major League Baseball make $20 million a year. So it really was a great couple of weeks for the front office, because let me tell you something. Now you can't go anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere, without seeing tons of ads all over, like buy your season tickets. So Padres made all these moves, and then they went out and marketed to try and get people to buy tickets into the future. That was pretty smart.
Yeah, the timing of the trade deadline coincides with renewals for like suites and season tickets and all that stuff. So that was definitely good timing. But yeah, I mean, look, Joe, I guess you could argue took a little bit less or home time discount, but it's going to set up his life, way after baseball. As a San Diego guy, he's going to have so many opportunities for marketing and and he loves the community. What a win-win signing for both sides, in my opinion.
Yep, I totally agree. Mark, before you go, we got about 30 seconds. Looks like you're getting ready to go out and hit the golf course today. What's cooking?
I am. I'm playing a member guest with my good friend Dale Yonke at La Jolla Country Club. It's a 3-day event, so a lot of golf and a lot of good camaraderie.
There's that par 4 at the La Jolla Country Club that I know Mickelson, I think, had a hole-in-one on a par 4.
Number 10, just past the snack shack. So you can get a libation and then rip it from there. But yeah, I'm not hitting driver there, Scotty. It's too much of a risk for me. I'm not that accurate, but a little 4-iron wedge and maybe make the putt.
All right, man. Mark Loretta, it is great to be with you always. Thank you so much for all of this baseball talk. This is some really heavy, we're like baseball insiders all of a sudden, guys. Pretty good. Pretty solid.
That's what the Padres have done to us.
Yeah, look what's happened this year. Mark, great to talk to you. Hey, everybody, I want to say, stay tuned. We got a lot more we want to get to. I do want to get to the Deshaun Watson situation and how the NFL really wants this guy suspended for a full year. We'll get into a bunch of NFL talk coming up. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Thanks to Mark Loretta. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westfield High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Zara Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
It's time for some San Diego Loyals Soccer Club updates.
The Loyals' best season yet continues as they got their club record 5th straight win against Monterey Bay on Wednesday night, 1-0. Charlie Adams converted a second-half penalty kick to help the Loyal earn 3 more points in the USL Championship. It was Adams' 4th goal of the season. Goalkeeper Kogi Vegas recorded his 2nd consecutive clean sheet in the win. Now the Loyal have won 8 of their last 9 games and have a 6-1 record at home. The club has outscored its opponents 16-2 in those 6 home wins. The Loyals sit at 2nd in the Western Conference with 49 points, just behind San Antonio FC with 53 points. San Diego takes on Birmingham Legion FC for the first time ever on Saturday.
That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by YourView. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YourView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox YourView? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox YourView. Hey to all the great friends out there that watch on Cox YourView. You might be in San Diego, Orange County, LA, Santa Barbara. We're happy to have everybody here. What we love to do in this time is it's a Cox exclusive. This is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox. Not going to hear this on radio on 1090, not going to see it on our YouTube channel, not going to hear it on any of the audio podcast platforms. This is just for you guys that watch on Cox YourView. A really big show coming to the Scottish Rites Event Center in Mission Valley in San Diego. If you love trading sports memorabilia or buying or selling, this is going to be the place for you. It's coming up on August 6th and 7th. And here's the guy running the entire operation. Here's Joe Oliveri, known to his friends as Joe O from SD Collectibles, who's running this show. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Scott. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Let's talk about this. Tell us about why people need to know about your show, SD Collectibles, on August 6th and 7th.
Well, we have a great show coming up August 6th and 7th at the Scottish Rite Event Center, like you had mentioned, right there in Mission Valley. We have over 130 tables that'll be at this show. We also have Paul Lowe signing autographs on Saturday. We have Steve Garvey and Raleigh Fingers, which will be there on Sunday doing in-person autographs. We just have a really great collection of some of the biggest and best of the community, the card collecting community, coming out there August 6th and 7th, showing their cards, showing their collectibles. There'll be a lot of memorabilia out there. And really what we look at it as is something for every collector.
Yeah, when you say every collector, is it from what I understand and looking at the website, sdcollectibles.com, it's not just purely sports cards. Is that right?
That's correct, Scott. We have sports cards, memorabilia, autographed items, quite a few unique autographed items and memorabilia. But we also have Pokemon, a large selection of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering. There'll be vendors there that have comic books. As I mentioned, there's several autograph signers that will be there. We also have JSA, which will be on site for both Saturday and Sunday, doing in-person authentication, same-day services.
Well, that's awesome, because for me, the one thing I know I'm most interested in, and I know a lot of people who are watching right now have the same thing. If you've got a piece of sports memorabilia that you are willing to part with, but you don't have authentication, like I have this Marshall Faulk football, the year that he broke the record where he was over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving for the Rams in 2000. I've also got this basketball sitting right here that is signed by every Los Angeles Laker of the 2002 World Championship team. So Shaq, Kobe, Phil Jackson. I don't really honestly know if they're authentic. I think they are. It's just I don't have the paperwork. So I can bring this stuff to your show and get it authenticated on site. Is that right?
That's correct. You can bring your autographed items, whether it's memorabilia such as those basketballs, footballs, baseballs, bats, cards, photos. You can bring them right to the show Saturday or Sunday. Stop by the JSA booth. Chris would be happy to help you there. He'll be on site with his team, and they can authenticate different items that you have that have autographs so that you can find out, one, if it's real, and two, it just gives it that much more value when it is authenticated.
What if I get it authenticated and I want to sell it? Is there a way for a private person like myself? I say private, I mean, like, I'm not in the business. Can I sell this stuff?
Yeah, you sure can. There's a couple different ways to do that. I mean, obviously there's some online ways to do that take a lot of time and a whole different set of really procedures. But one of the great things that you can do, we have tables available and we have options for everyone. We do have some vendor tables available, 6, 8, and 12-foot tables. You can bring your items down there to sell. You can bring your cards, your memorabilia, and so on. If you have some memorabilia items like you're showing there, Scott, you can get them authenticated right at JSA, bring them over to your table, and you can put them out there for all of the attendees to see and see if you can make a deal on selling it or possibly trading it for something that you have a little more interest in.
All right. Well, while you're talking, I know Alex is putting up on the screen for everybody the website. It's sdcollectibles.com, sdcollectibles.com. Information about where, when, who's going to be there signing autographs, how you can get authenticated, how you can buy a table and space if you want to sell your own collection. Joe, this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be really cool. Give us any final thoughts, things you need people to know before you roll.
Well, one of the great things is it's a family-friendly event. When you come to our shows, you'll see a lot of people, both the parents and the kids, showing them around because there's something for everyone. There's bargain boxes of cards that are anywhere from 50 cents to $1 up. And then if you're one of those bigger collectors that likes to find those unique cards, maybe those graded cards, those Gem Mint 10, there's going to be thousands and thousands of those on display, as well as what's called the trading card game, the TCG, with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and so on, comic books, as I mentioned, autographed memorabilia and such. If I could give a special thank you to some of those in our community that have helped support our event. Stacked Packs, big supporter and sponsor of our event. Poke Familia, J-Lo Collectibles, SD Sportsmen, and OC Dugout. Those folks really helped support our event, and they'll be at the show. So if you have an opportunity to come out and attend, come by and say hello to those folks that have vendor tables set up.
Joe, it sounds like it's going to be a great event on August 6th and 7th. The website is SD Collectibles, and we'll see you down there. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so like if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you like learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.